will be called column chart. It's pretty simple, today's topic. We should be able to finish quickly. The first topic is column chart. Okay, and the first column chart lives here. You go to insert on the top. And this one here, which was the same as histogram, is your column chart. And we use the first one. So the first one will be called clustered column chart. Clustered column. Clustered column. C-L-U-S-T-E-R-E-D. Clustered column. So if a table like this is given, what you do is you select your entire table, go to insert on the top, and we do clustered column like that. Once you have the graph, what do we have to do from last time? The formatting, the change the title and all of that. Very good. So the first thing you do is click on the chart title and give it a different name. So this is your column chart. What else do we do? Delete the backlines. Very good. Click on the backlines, delete. And one more thing we do, we have to add the labels. Very good. So if you, hello. How do you add the labels? You click on the bar. Right click. And you go to add data labels. If you do that, the labels come on, and you do it for all of them. Does that make sense? Should be straightforward. Any questions here? The column chart.
Sorry, the red one doesn't show.
Oh, the red one doesn't show. So the mistake we did was we only clicked on that one. So if you click on it, you have to make sure every one of them is selected, all the red ones. And then right click and add data labels, and it will show for all of them. Make sense? Okay, if it makes sense, tell me how to do the next one. The question is, I want a column chart, but only for months and mail order sales. I don't want to select the entire table. I only want the month and, right, who can help me here? So I select the first column. Now I want to select this column, but if I do it, the first one disappears. So how do we do that? Any ideas? Is the question clear what the problem is? If I select this, and then if I go and select this one disappears. Yeah, well, very good. Let's try that. So you select the first column, hold Command on your keyboard if it's Mac. If it's Windows, you hold Control. So hold Command and select the second column. Well done. Once again, you select the first column, hold Command on your keyboard and select the second column. And then you go to insert and the first one. And we get it only for the month and mail order sales. And then you do the basic formatting. Any questions? Okay, if no questions, next one. The next one will be called stacked column chart. Stacked column. STACKED, stacked column chart. So once again, you select your entire STACKED, stacked column chart. So you select your entire table, go to insert, and the stacked column is the second one here. Okay, the first one is clustered, the second one is stacked. So in stacked, what happens is each column is stacked above the other one rather than next to it. So if I click on it, look at that. Each one of them is stacked above it. And then once you have the chart, you do the formatting, which you can try when you practice. Make sense? Okay, next one. Just like column, we have row charts. The next topic will be row charts. The first one will be clustered row chart. Clustered row. Yeah. Select your table, insert the first one again. And which one do you think is a row chart? The third one, it's the horizontal one. So column charts are vertical and these guys are horizontal. Same thing, but horizontal. And look at that, it's the same thing. Make sense? Clustered row chart. So you go to insert and this one, clustered bar chart. Okay, when you practice, you also do stacked bar. It's the same thing. So whatever you do for column, also do for bar. We won't do the third one. We will only do the first and the second. Or any questions on column and bar? Pretty straightforward, I would think. Yeah? Right, next one. The next one will be called pie charts, which you should know, which you must have heard of. Let me simplify this. I'm just going to delete the total column. Okay, just make a note for the pie chart. You do not select the entire table. So do not select the entire table. For the pie chart, do not select the entire table. It has to be the first column and any other columns you want. So let's do the first column.
What if you want all of them?
It's not possible to have all of them in a pie chart. It has to be a base month and another column. So select the first column and let's do it for website sales. So what do I do? Hold what? Command and select the other column. Go to insert. Right, which one do you think is a pie chart?
The right-hand side.
The circle one. Pretty simple. This one. And we will do the first one here. This is your pie chart. Once you have your chart, you have to format. Remember, you have to do the formatting. If you don't, you won't get the full points, okay, on the quiz or the final. Okay, so just say website sales pie chart. Now, one important thing, your biggest slice should always be on the top. That's the standard way. You keep the biggest slice on the top to make it visible better. So what you do is you right click and we go to Format Data Series. So click on the pie chart and right click and Format Data Series. And with the help of the angle of first slice, if you increase the angle, your pie chart, any guesses what will happen if I increase the angle here? It will start to rotate. So look at that. If I do this, starting to, yeah, rotate. So rotate it to an angle where your biggest slice turns out to be on the top like that. Okay, the other thing you want to do is add the labels. So right click and add data labels. Okay, that didn't do right. So make sure you select the entire pie chart. Make sure the whole thing is selected. Right click. Add data labels. Make sure all of them show up on each slice. Now, one more thing to do, click on the labels once you get them. Right click and say Format Data Labels. So once you get the labels, right click on it and Format Data Labels. And make sure the category name as well as the percentages on your labels. So for the pie chart, make sure category name, value, and percentage are there on your pie chart. And if you look at your labels here, they look a bit messy. So make sure you do outside end for position. So if you click on it, it'll be a little bit better. Then you can just make it a bit bigger so that it's visible. Make sense? Any questions? Pie chart. When you practice, you do it for the other two. I did it for this, you do it for the other two. So you have to make two pie charts. This one, and this one, and that one. Any questions? All right, next one. Let's do this graphs, pretty simple. Okay, the next one will be called line chart or line graph. If the question is asking for trend, you will have to make the line chart, make a note. It may not say line chart, it may say find the trend in your data, you will have to make the line chart. Okay, should be simple. Okay, who wants to help me? I want to make a line chart for this one. What do I do? Select the table. Very good. Insert.
Recommended chart.
Which one is the line chart?
Is it the second one?
It's the second one here is the line chart. It's the same as the ogive from last class. And we'll do the fourth one. The line with markers. So click on it and you will see your line chart. Right, pretty simple. Once you have it, what do? The formatting. So this is the revenue line chart. Delete the backlines. Now there's one more thing you have to do for the line chart. Just make a note. You have to reduce the gap between your line chart and the x-axis. So just make a note. For the line chart, you will have to reduce this big gap because sometimes the line chart is way higher and it leaves a big gap in your chart. All right, this is how we do it. You right click on the y-axis. And you go to format axis. So right click on the y-axis, go to format axis, and the minimum value here should be close to your minimum value here. So around, so 364 is your minimum. So make it around 350,000. Press enter. So look at that. This gives you a better idea of the trend. So your graph now starts at 350,000. Make sense? Yeah, let's do it again. So we right click on the y-axis and we go to one sec. I don't know why it's not happening now. Yeah. You right click on the y-axis and go to format axis. And in the minimum value here, and in the minimum value here, you give a value which is closest to your minimum value. Don't give the exact, but a little bit close to it. So around 350,000. This will give you a better idea of the trend. And the last thing you do is click on the line, right click, and you say add data labels. Make sure you add the data labels always. Any question here? Anybody question? All right, help me do the next one then. So we want to make a line chart for this guy here. All right, who wants to do it? Select the table, insert, very good, simple. And we do the fourth one. So now look here. What is the error in the graph? This is the important bit. That's why we're doing two of them. What is the error?
The year, the fact that the year shows up as a separate line.
So the year is showing as a separate line. Instead, this should be the x-axis. So make a note, when you have two columns where both are numbers, the line chart will have this error. So make a note, if your table has two columns, both numbers, line chart will have this error. Yeah, we'll do it now. And now we'll see how to fix it. So we want this guy here, the year, to become the x-axis. So what you do is you go to chart design on the top. So click on the graph and go to chart design on the top. And go to select data. Select data here. All right, this is a new thing in Mac. So you click on year. And click on the minus here. So this will get rid of the blue line when we press OK. The other thing you want to do is in the horizontal axis, click on it and select the first column without the label. Okay, in Windows, you don't select the label, but let's see what happens here. So once again, click on the horizontal axis and select your first column. And if I do OK, hopefully it should be fixed. Look at that. The blue line is gone and your new axis is the years. Did that make sense? And once you have that, you do the basic formatting. Title, backlines. Remove the gap. What is the lowest value here? Looks like around 244. So let's make it around 200,000 or 220. It's better. And the last thing you do is right click, add data labels. Yeah, you can just change the location if they're make it a bow. Still, if they're ugly, just go on the corner and just drag it to make it a bit more visible. And then if you want, you can get rid of the y-axis as well. Once you put the labels, if you just get rid of the y-axis, that's fine to make it more cleaner. Because you have the values here, you don't need the y-axis. Make sense? All right, one last. This will be called the XY scatter plot. Very important, XY scatter plot. Okay, what does it do? Write down what does it do first. Does anyone know what does the XY scatter plot do from statistics? Has anyone done statistics? What does it do, the XY? Don't remember. All right, this is what it do. Write it down. It will check the relationship between the first column and the second column. The first column will be the x-axis, which will be the independent variable. Write down the x-axis is the independent variable. And the second column will be on the y-axis, which will be the dependent variable.
Is the first column always going to be the y-axis?
First column is always the x-axis, yeah. And the second column is always the y-axis. So the question is, we want to check the effect of x-axis on the y-axis. So in this case, the question is, as the years of experience goes up, does your salary per hour go up or go down? That's the question we want to check. So what do we do? When we draw the scatter plot, if all the points are going up, we say that there is a
Strong
positive correlation between x and y.
depending on you said the strong or weak.
Yeah, we'll see it, yeah. So if all the points are going up from left to right, we say there is a positive correlation or positive relationship between x and y. What does that mean? When x goes up, y goes up as well. If the points are going down, we say there is a negative relationship between x and y.
Is it negative relationship or correlation?
It's nearly the same thing. What does that mean? When x goes up, y goes down. And if the points are random, we say there is no relationship. We can also check the strength of the relationship. Okay? We'll see how to do that. So let's see how to do the scatter plot. Select your entire table. Go to insert on the top. Which one do you think is the scatter plot here? The one with the dots here. This is your XY scatter plot. And we will do the first one. So look at that. Now, what does it look like? The points are going up. So that seems like a positive relationship. Yeah. What were you saying? Yeah. Now, there's more thing we can do to it. So the next one will be adding the trend line. So what we want to do is, out of this equation, out of these points, we want to make an equation. This is also called mathematical modeling, where we make equations out of data. Very important, mathematical modeling. Now, if you're doing Windows, there is a plus sign here, then you can do it, but I'm going to find out how to do it here. Maybe add chart element, yeah. Okay, add, so you click on the points and go
Not
to,
all of them are,
sorry?
when you click, not all of them have been selected. Why is that? Is that because they're,
No, they are, it's just not showing, but
no, but like, look
yeah,
at
but
the
they're, it's
12
kind of
ones,
selected. It's just not showing, but they are.
they're all selected.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see if I click on this. Yeah, they all are selected, even though some are left out. They all are selected. Then go to add chart element, the top left. If you're doing Windows, then there is a plus sign here. You click on that. But in the Mac, you go to add chart element and you go to trend line. And we will do linear. So this is linear mathematical modeling. This is also called the regression line. If you hear the word regression, this is what it is. So click on it and see what happens. So look at this. This is your trend line. And the trend line is going up. It means there is a positive relationship. If this same line was going down, you would say negative relationship. Or there's more to do. Click on the line. Let me see if we can do it. So click on the line, right click, and go to format trend line. So click on the line, right click, and go to format trend line. And you go to the bottom right here and say display the equation on chart. So if I click on it, see what happens. This is the equation of your data. Yeah.
Do you want to remove the backlines in this one?
No, for this one, do not remove the backlines because it's important to see how they are in terms of the grid. So do not remove the backlines for scatter plot. And the other thing you want to do is display the R squared value on chart. And just make a note, this R squared checks the strength of the relationship. So if you click on display R squared, look at that. This R squared value is always between 0 to 1. If it's closer to 1, it means your relationship is strong. And if it's closer to 0, your relationship is weak.
Are we expected to comment on that?
Yeah, so just comment. If it's above 0.75, you'll say there is a strong relationship. And below 0.3 will be considered weak relationship. And between 0.3 to 0.75, you'll say a medium relationship. So in this case, it's kind of medium, higher side.
So is it a medium relationship?
Yeah, the strength is medium. Not a strong relationship between X and Y.
What is strong?
Above 0.75, bigger than 75%. And this will be your scatter plot. Any questions on this one? You can ask questions. Just go through the stuff and see if any questions. You have to do these 4 graphs for today. Let me stop the recording, if it's recorded, hopefully.
You want us to do everything that you still done, or is there specific ones that